Well, here we are on Duna again. Okay, so we have successfully landed our landers. We have our Duna ship in orbit around Duna right now, ready and waiting for Bill Kerman to head on off of the surface and rendezvous with the spaceship. But before we do that, there is an Easter egg somewhere nearby. I don't know where it is, but I know it is close to here. Ooh, that's a point. Green lights. Okay, so somewhere around here, again, I'm not sure where, but somewhere in and around here, there is a secret. And I want to find the secret. I very much want to find this secret. So I am going to have to figure out where I am going to get that secret from. Let's turn those off. Don't drain too much electrical charge after all. So yeah, I need to find the secret. I don't know where I'm going to find it, but I do know that the only way that I am conceivably ever going to figure out where the heck it is with a rover. There's no way I am walking around the surface of Duna for that long. So, I went ahead and built a rover. Now you'll get a better look at it once I've actually landed the thing, and again, it's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but it is a rover, and that is the important part. Let's load up my rover majig. A refueler majig, a rover majig. Load that. Okay. So, as you can see, your standard super heavy launch with additional battery power and solar cells should come in pretty darn handy if I do say so myself. It is as unwieldy and as uncontrollable as ever, which is to be expected. Now that I'm thinking about it, you know what? Let's add one more thing here. Let's add just one more thing. While we have the chance. We're gonna add... Where are we now? We're gonna add some advanced SAS. Right... there. Cool. And I think we'll just go ahead and we'll save that. And we'll go ahead and we will, you know, overwrite. Alright, very nice. So, we've got that done. Let's reload the rover majig, and let's get this thing on the launch pad. Let's get this thing on its way to Duna. Yeah, as you can see, pretty much the whole idea is right here. This top bit here. The rest is kind of inconsequential, but this is what I am sending. So that my friend on the ground can hop on up and hop on in and do his thing. I did a little bit of testing. Hopefully it'll work. Yeah, we'll see. I'm not really too sure. But we're going to find out. And if it doesn't work, well, it'll be some interesting explosions. So, as per the usual, let us get ourselves set up. We want some stage only over here on our resources. And we want SAS locked in. We're going to zoom on in. Spin on up. That's probably going to be a little bit too close there. And we should be good to go. So let's throttle this sucker up. And 3, 2, 1, launch. Yeah. Okay. Now, one thing that I've been doing with this launch is slowing my roll a little bit, if you can say that. Because the surface speed, you want to keep at a reasonable level. You don't want to get pushy against the atmosphere because that's a waste of fuel. Granted, with this particular setup, there's not too much of a concern there. But still, it's better to be conservative if one can, I think. So again, I don't think that I'm actually going to hit the maximum surface speed, but I'm just going to throttle down a tiny little bit, just because there's no sense in burning extra fuel for no reason. So yeah, there go the first two. And here we go. One other thing I suppose I should point out, and what I should have done before, was actually changed over the where you're controlling from. Control from here, because as you can see, Now I get the normal nav ball, but before it was controlling from the rover itself, which is, you know, at a 90-degree angle to what this is at. So the virtual horizon, it flipped 90 degrees, which is not necessarily what you really want, if I'm being honest. I think I'm going a little bit too fast given my altitude, so I'm just slowing down a bit there. Again, don't really have to worry about it all that terrifically much, and we're more or less out of that at the lowest level of the atmosphere anyway, so I don't think we really lost that much fuel, truth be told. Whatever, let's roll over. Let's get this thing into a suborbital trajectory. Pretty much the idea here is the usual. We're going to drop off the other two, and then we're going to keep on burning all night long. Just trying to get a decent orbit established, but you've already seen stuff like that. You don't really need me to tell you all of that, so let's speed this thing up, and well, once I'm in transit, I guess we can take it from there or something, depending on how I want to edit this. Okay then. So after orbiting around the planet Kerbal for about a year, hopefully I still have some electrical charge here. Yeah, it looks like we do. Cool. That will certainly come in handy. Probably should have extended these about a year ago Kerbal time, but hey, whatever. It's all good. We all make mistakes. For example, not sending a rover. That was a bit of a mistake. But that's okay. So I just did, well, about a year's worth of orbiting, just so that I could get myself in the appropriate position. And I'm going to reset the node here, such that we burn approximately at the appropriate time. So we'll do that. And let's just zoom ourselves out here. See what we get. I guess I'll just leave the orbital inclination the same. I mean, I could probably get a better capture if I adjusted this now, but I'd rather do that en route. So we'll just drag this out, and we'll see if we can get ourselves an encounter somewhere. Whoa, okay. That was pretty close already, wasn't it? $150,000 kilometers, 137, 112. Whoa, I had something there for a second. Just for a brief second, we definitely had something. Oh yeah, alright, we got ourselves an encounter. Probably won't be all that epic of one. 12,000 kilometers is not bad. Okay, next thing. How long do I have to my node? I have some time. That's good. That's very good. Let's roll ourselves over. And the actual transfer burn itself is really insignificant, so I'm going to have plenty of fuel left over for whatever it is that I need to do, which is good. Now I debated, while I'm rolling this ship over, which does take a little bit of time, granted, I debated going ahead and sending this rover, but also allowing the transit stage to like refuel my orbiting spaceship that would bring all my Kerbals back. But I decided in the end not to. And the reason I decided not to was that it would be, to my mind, a little bit... I'd be cheating, really, if I was to do that, and I just didn't want to cheat. I would rather do this to the best of my ability. I don't think sending a rover is cheating, really, because the Easter egg that I was trying to land on is a little bit difficult to find. Now, realistically, I should have sent the rover first. Fine, granted. But I still think sending the rover afterwards is not really cheating, so I'm going to allow it. Now, that's 50 meter per second. I'm gonna guess that that's gonna be somewhere around 1 minute and 20 burn, give or take. Again, I'm not sure, but I'm thinking it probably will be. So based on that assumption, we're gonna burn at roughly 30 seconds to node. I think that should give us exactly what we need. So let's speed up time, get ourselves into the daylight. And we are a little bit off as far as our node is concerned. Again, kinda just want to make this as perfect as possible, right? As you may be able to tell, there are a lot of stresses going on here whenever I try to jiggle this thing over. It doesn't tend to like the idea, but with the SAS on top here now, it's a lot more controllable, a lot easier to steer. I can actually steer this thing without thrust and get onto a node if I need to, so that's nice. I think I might have just overshot it a bit there, but whatever. Yeah, I did. Tiny bit. That's okay. That's okay. We're doing fine. Alright, so again, we're going to burn at roughly 30 seconds before the node. Ooh, still overshooting, or undershooting rather, a little bit. Let's just try to line ourselves up on this node then. I would rather be precise if I can be. It's good practice, right? It's good practice getting ready for other missions to come. Man, I'm really stoked to do this Jewel mission too. I kind of can't wait to get back just so I can start designing my Jewel spaceship. I had a little bit of, well, about 20 minutes testing out designs and whatnot, just seeing if my designs made any sense. I think they do. The problem is I'm going to run into, I think, is the part count. When I've got everything docked up with the space station, the game might lag a little bit. Now, hoping to upgrade my computer at some point, so in theory that won't be too big of an issue. But again, I'm not entirely certain whether or not my computer's actually going to be able to run the game with that many parts being placed in. I tried some ideas of like a massive amount of fuel for ion propulsion, but the problem with that is that you have to add so many of those little tanks to get a huge amount of fuel on board, and the part count, like I said, it goes through the roof very quickly. So you're left with an incredibly laggy experience as a result, with like basically 1 or 2 frames per second, which is not ideal when you're dealing with something where precision aiming is kind of key, I think anyway. So yeah, I had to abandon that idea of doing it fully ion propulsed, and I think in the end I'm just going to do the normal nuclear engine propulsion setup. But yeah, I mean, it's not the end of the world. It's still doable, and maybe I'll have to send a refueling mission to the station once it's actually achieved orbit. But again, not really the end of the world. And I'm rambling. So let's get this thing to the node. I should be more or less on top of this now. Yeah, close enough. When I actually arrive at the node, I should be able to quickly adjust myself there. Getting there. Okay, so let's make that quick adjustment right now while we have the chance. Again, this thing controls a lot better under thrust, so as long as I'm more or less on it by the time I hit the node, I'm not too concerned. I can always do some minor course corrections afterwards, or some minor angular corrections, I guess, afterwards to achieve what I would like, which should be fine. It should be perfectly alright. So again, I think it's going to be about a minute and 10 second burn. So we're going to burn roughly 30 seconds out from the node, and we should be okay with that. Again, I've got a colossal amount of fuel here, so I'm not too terrifically concerned with fuel consumption. We'll see, but I think it'll be fine, honestly. Anyway, got about 10 seconds to go, and again, I think I'm going to burn a little bit before the 30-second mark, maybe at about 32, which is coming up right about a now. I think that's pretty darn good, all things considered. We have a Duna encounter. Duna periapsis is about 9,000 kilometers. Pretty darn good, if you ask me. So, let's go ahead and stage this sucker. Okay. I say we just burn this thing into the ground. Get the highest possible speed that we can. Just go ludicrous speed through the atmosphere. So let's start our burn, get a little bit more stability back. We should be hitting some serious atmosphere very shortly. There it is, right on cue. Solar cells should be flying off at any moment. Pressure's building, the heat's building. And there they go. We no longer are able to charge our ship up, but that's okay. We've got tons of battery power. And a colossal amount of fuel. Now granted, by doing this we might be decreasing the explosion, but whatever. And we're hitting some serious air resistance as well as we fly through the atmosphere. Want to keep that speed up though. Want to be going supersonic the whole way down if I can. I don't know if I have enough thrust to do it, but I don't care. I don't care. Alright, 4 kilometers up. Here it comes. Here comes the ground. This will probably hurt a little bit. And boom. Absolute destruction. Nothing was left. Let's move to our tracking station. Let's get ourselves over to the Rover Majig. Alright. We've disposed of the launch stage, and the Rover Majig is in flight. It's a pretty good looking Rover Majig, if I do say so myself. So, let's get ourselves out of here. Leave Kerbal and the Mun behind. Head on out of the system. Alright, at ApoApps, let us add a node. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1, a burn. And if I'd actually staged myself properly, we'd actually be burning now. Well, yep. What did that give us? That gave us a periapse of 458 meters, which is really not bad. I think we could probably make another course correction here or so. Let's just move ourselves up to there a little bit more. Alright. Whoa. Whew. Almost overshot that one. Alright. 2.6 meters per second to change. And there. Pretty good, I think. What do we get? 31. We will encounter the atmosphere. Excellent. Wonderful. Just what I always wanted for Christmas. Let's zoom ahead. Let's get to our encounter. Burning, burning, burning. Burning, burning, burning. Burning, burning, burning. Captured orbit. Sweet. Check mark. Okay. So we are captured. So, let's do the usual. Spin ourselves up to ApoApps. And we can bring the periapts down a little bit at this point into the atmosphere and allow that to aerobrake us. Okay. I've given up on aerobraking. Now it is time for regular braking. So let's burn like madmen. Get ourselves into a final approach type thingamajig. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. Let's just save that there, I think. Maybe add a maneuver there. Gonna have to make some final adjustments on this node afterwards, because of course the planet itself is rotating, so I want to nail this as best I can. But it's going to be slightly difficult, what with rotating planets and whatnot. Alright, here we go. This is where the magic happens. Now I'm hoping, while we're doing this, I'm hoping that I can get this, that I can use this transit stage as well, just to bring me exactly where I want to go. I don't know if I can or not, but I think it might be possible. So, we'll use the transit stage as well to bring ourselves down. And now things start to get, like I said, pretty darn interesting. So, we've still got this transit stage, and we're going to use it to decelerate, but we'll blast it off at the last second, and I kind of want to readjust this as well. Deploy the parachutes first, and then we'll go ahead and start burning with these two little rockets, because the ship itself isn't all that terrifically stable, and I don't want to muck about too much. I also want to be controlling... Nope, not lights on, silly. Controlling from there at this point. Well, hopefully I'll be able to swap between the two fast enough, because I want to stay on this negative vector while I'm burning, but right before I undock, I have to remember to switch my control to here. Otherwise, things are going to go poorly, methinks. Alright, so we're catching a little bit of atmosphere now. Our apoaps doesn't appear to be getting affected all that much by it. Well, this should be fun anyway. Going down over here somewhere. Again, just trying to keep this on the negative vector for the time being. Let's do a little bit of physical acceleration here, so that we're not taking too much time, but at around 30k I want to be regular speed. 30k altitude, I should say. Okay, around there, let's go regular speed. Let's line this up again. Where are we at? Not doing too bad there. I'm just going to burn a little bit at this point, just to try to bring this back a little bit. Yeah, okay, good. Good. So I'm not too concerned where I land. Let's just use our engines as much as we can now. Try to slow our surface velocity down as much as possible. unstable now. Okay, let's cut that. No, come on. Control from here. Dump that. Pop chutes. Okay. Whole bunch of debris exploding down there. And I believe these tires are rated well enough that we don't need to worry too terrifically much about them here. Let's just try and get ourselves more or less even to the horizon as well. It looks like I won't need these thrusters in the end, which is great. They might come in handy later, but I doubt it. Should be okay without them. Yep, looks like all we really needed was this. Which is fine by me. So we're 12 kilometers out. Interesting. Very interesting. And we're down. Okay, well, that as they say is that. So, I think what we'll do now is just hold the brakes on for a second. And let's save. Now these have a tendency on Kerbal to get destroyed. Huh? Oh no. My solar cells got destroyed, are you kidding me? My solar panels got destroyed on entry. That's horrific. Well, better get over there as quick as possible, I guess. That really blows. That is freaking terrible. Well, that'll learn me. That'll learn me. Shielded solar cells from now on. You know what? I might just redo this whole thing then.